I'm Dr. Kimberly Manning.
And this is Dr. Ashley McMullen. And you're listening to the Human Doctor Podcast, where we explore the human side of medicine, along with teaching, living, learning, and all things in between. Using the power of storytelling, conversation, and connectedness.
Hey, we're two dope academic internal medicine doctors, but we ain't your doctors. So if you perceive anything we say here as medical advice, no, it ain't that. Also, the things we say, they only reflect our brilliant Black woman magic mind and not our employers.
You could have been anywhere, y'all, but you chose to be here with us, and we appreciate you. Let's go.
Recording is in progress.
Yes. It's like, wait, did I push the button or not? I did.
You did. I see the red dot blinking, warning me not to do anything weird.
Yes, please.
Oh, I guess they can't see me do anything weird. They can just hear me be weird.
You know, the videos do stay archived. So maybe one of these days.
Oh, no. You know what? If you pull out a video from the archives, make sure it's the one where you like got your hair half braided, half unbraided.
Yeah, or I'm actually actively doing it on the screen.
Yep, for sure. How are you today?
I am doing great. I think 5 out of 5. Yeah, I mean, maybe like a 4.99.
That's wrong,
but pretty good.
Okay.
I feel so good whenever I'm able to start the morning with some exercise and like a good meal. So yeah, my body is pleased this morning.
You had good sleep too?
Not great sleep. That would be asking way too much. But on the flip side, I guess this is one of the things that I'm grateful for as I was like journaling this morning. I was just like, the sleep didn't feel great, but I still feel good, and I think that was just because I got to kind of choose how I wanted to spend my morning.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that. I normally sleep pretty well, but for whatever reason, I did not. I know, sorry. But you are definitely ahead of me today. I'm like a 4.5 probably, which is low for me.
Yeah.
I have not exercised yet. I've been working from home all morning. I have on workout clothes, which is actually makes you feel even worse when you have on workout clothes, but you actually haven't done anything yet. I could have slept better because I thought I kept hearing music. And I was like, where is this music coming from? And, like if I got up in night to go to the bathroom, I'm looking for this music. It's not coming from my son's room. It's not anywhere. And so I really thought like, okay, I'm actually cracking up here. And I wake up this morning to discover that my husband has accidentally connected his phone to our deck where we have a speaker.
Oh my God.
And I kept hearing it was just like soul music. It would be like Mary J. Blige, Frankie Beverly and Mays, Earth, Wind and Fire. I was like, okay, is this what happens to you when you get in your mid 50s? You just be hearing music from the R&B station of your childhood in your brain. What is going on? So I was like, I know I hear Earth, Wind and Fire. Where is this coming from? And then I go on the deck. Do you remember that 21st night of September? I was like, what is going on? Harry's like, oh man, looks like my phone connected and somehow at night.
You accidentally serenaded the whole neighborhood all night.
Fortunately, it was low because our deck is right next to my bedroom window, but still, it was just all very weird.
That is hilarious.
It is hilarious. I mean, I'm glad to know that one part of me, it would have been exciting to have like an internal like jukebox jamming out
yes
to that music. One of our number one fans of the podcast, who is Jolie, my sister, she has demanded that I make a confession to our listeners.
Ooh, okay, I'm ready.
I'm mad at her for this. She listened to last week's episode and immediately texted me. She was like, you owe your listeners more intel. And that intel is in 1987 and 1988, I was varsity cheerleader captain at Morningside High School in Inglewood, California, where I was responsible for calling all the cheers for our varsity cheer team during football season. The problem is that I did not understand football.
Oh my God.
I did
This,
not understand football. The person who did understand football was Jolay.
wow.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you, Jolie. The
I
truth.
know. So she was like, "You're a poser," which sort of like maybe like sort of. I mean, I guess I could. I guess I mean,
Mhm, mhm. Wow.
everything that, as I tell the medical students, everything that you know and everything that everybody knows at one point they didn't know it. The only thing I guess is that I've been kind of flexing like I'm that girl.
Yeah, yeah, that was a mad flex you did last week.
Yeah,
So
so she threw an absolute flag on the play, and I know what that is because now I understand football. But in 1988, the flag on the play, I wouldn't have known what that meant. So
Wow.
Jolay, you've outed me. Hopefully none of the varsity cheerleaders at my son's high school hear this because they all see me as that football mom.
Man, well, the truth will set you free.
Yeah,
Well,
I actually feel relieved to
I love it. That's
have.
so funny.
Well, now that we got confessions off of our chests, kings, queens, and non-binary royalty. We should get some merch that says that kings, queens, and non-binary royalty.
I would rock that
That's
in a
very
heartbeat.
human doctor podcasty.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that you all have been just listening to this part of the podcast, waiting for us to get through this banter so that you can get what you came here to experience. And I'm not going to hold you from that any further. So, kings, queens, and non binary royalty, it is time for us, yes, to have our tympanic membranes tickled
Oh my
by an extraordinary story by none other than the matchless Dr. Ashley McMullen, who by now, I hope, has like several what's to offer you.
I mean, I'm still stuck on the tickled tympanic membrane.
I
So
know, didn't you? I mean, the alliteration too is dope, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it's very poetic.
So, sis, what is the what?
The what is gift.
Gift. Okay.
Gift.
Gift.
Hmm.
As in, give me a gift.
Yeah. Your primary love language.
Right, right. This
Um,
is not my story. This is your story.
but
Gift. All right.
but for me, I was thinking about the greatest gift I received as a medical trainee, and that was actually the birth of my nephew.
Huh. Hmm.
Yeah. So several years back, when I was getting ready to start medical school in 2011, I know, she's shaking her head, y'all. But yes, 2011, 13 years ago, I was actually getting ready to move from the city that I was living on the East Coast back to Houston that summer to begin my first semester as a medical student. And I remember before that move, like it was a bit complicated
Mhm.
because that medical school was not my first choice. And I wasn't feeling as enthused about moving back to Houston at this point. Home
Okay.
still felt a little complicated to me. I wasn't quite sure where I fit in. And yeah, I wasn't quite as excited about starting medical school as, I thought I might have been.
Mm.
But I moved back. And, one of the things that I had been looking forward to that I had found out, a couple months prior to that was that my sister-in-law and my oldest brother were going to be having their first child, which would be the first child of that generation and my first nephew.
Mm.
And didn't know what to expect, but thankfully, even though there were some complications with the pregnancy, towards the last trimester, things were going smoothly. I was only like 3 weeks into medical school. I was in my gross anatomy lab, which is the famous med school course where you do a lot of dissecting of human cadavers.
Mhm.
And the way my curriculum worked is like we dissected the cadaver from head to toe.
Yep.
So, we would spend hours in that lab, like in the bowels of the medical school,
Mm-hmm.
And so I was there with my two lab mates. Wish I could remember exactly what parts of the body we were working on, but I know we were just getting started. But I also know that something very special is happening that day, which is that my sister-in-law was going to be induced, and I wasn't exactly sure when. But I remember we were like in the middle of the lab and my phone was buzzing in my back pocket. So I stepped away to look and I saw that it was happening right then and there in the middle of my gross anatomy lab.
Mm.
So I went to my lab mates and I was just like, I'm sorry, y'all, I gotta go. Thankfully, like my med school was in the medical center.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just left. I didn't I didn't explain myself. I mean, they knew that I had a nephew being born, but I didn't ask anybody for permission. I literally just got my stuff and I left. So I went not too far to the women's hospital in the medical center. And I get to the waiting area and I see a room full of our folks. So as my mom is there and Nicole, my sister-in-law, her mother and family are there and her best friend and like some other family friends. And it's just like this joyful anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, after what felt like forever of waiting, my brother shows up in the entryway and he's got his scrub top on with the footprints of my nephew on his shirt. And then they roll the baby over and just like kind of prop him up. And we all like go dashing out of the waiting room and surround him. It's one of the few times I can remember my brother actually crying. He's not a man of many tears, at least not public ones, but that day was different. It was unlike anything I could have anticipated. I remember I held him for the first time. You know, at that point in my life, I didn't know fully what it meant to love something or somebody simply for the fact that they exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no transaction there. There's nothing, like you just love them simply because they are.
Mm.
And that's what I felt about Drew. And I remember feeling like, you know, this new awareness of emotions after that. Like, for example, every time I see kids singing in like a church choir, like I tear up automatically.
Mm.
And I never did that before. It's just like, you know, there's this awareness and sensitivity that became very present after he was born. So that marked kind of the beginning of, you know, my journey into my professional identity, which is happening right alongside a lot of these shifts and dynamics in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So now, you know, home has taken on a completely different meaning. Watching my brother become a dad and my mom is a grandma, and you know they were living at my mom's house at the time and my room became Drew's room. And so it shifted into immediate perspective, like the things that mattered most. And so while, you know, I'm going through the pressures of med school and test taking and all that, I knew at the end of the day or at the end of the week, like I was going home
Mm.
and I was going to be with this baby and I was going to be very, very present with this baby because this baby does not give two cares about what other things I've got going on in medical school.
Right.
You know, and throughout that time, as I've told in different stories, like, you know, I'm also dealing with an emergence of my sexual identity and how that has, you know, come into play and, you know, in dynamics with my family and other relationships. But at the center of all this motion is this child that has stolen my heart and, you know, reminded me that everything's going to be okay.
Mm.
And so throughout med school, you know, there's also the excitement of like, oh, he's walking now. Oh, he's eating solid food.
Mm.
Like, you know, all these cute clothes that you see at Target and you get to buy now and like force him to wear before he has a choice in what he wants to wear.
Mm.
And, you know, I was every milestone for 4 years, I was there. Each birthday, each holiday, it was like a competition to see like who could give him the gift that he like enjoyed the most, which I was the forerunner for all 4 years. You know, part of why I wanted to highlight that story is I remember in an earlier season of the podcast, you told a story about like what matters most.
Mm-hmm.
And how when we're kind of in the thick of our day-to-day lives and all of the busyness, it is so easy to forget, the importance of the relationships in our life.
Mm,
And the reason why I consider my nephew like the greatest gift is because I got to learn that lesson very early,
mm,
and particularly what it means to be like present in each moment, not necessarily orienting my life around med school or rotations or whatever. It's just like, what do I have to do to get home this weekend? Like, what do I have to do
mm,
to make sure that I can get consecutive nights during this rotation, like at my mom's house?
mm.
And even after I left for residency, I would make a point to try to get home for his birthday. I mean, he's a moody 13-year-old teenager now. So, the birthdays have shifted. And I also now have added, 6 more nieces and nephews to the rotation. But that was the first one. That was the first child in my life that really taught me what it means to love unconditionally. And
Mm,
I'm grateful that I got to have him so early on.
mm. I love that. And I love that you were there. That's
Mhm.
really extra, extra special. And I actually like that you are telling the story from the perspective of somebody that is not the birthing parent.
Yeah.
It's usually, stories like this, you hear people tell a tale as old as time, of a birthing parent discovering like this love that they're like, oh, wow, okay, I think this is like nature built me to feel like this, to protect this thing. But I think one of the special pieces about your nephew is that you had a choice. And I guess as a parent and as a birthing parent, I guess you have a choice to some degree. But I do feel like there's something in you that's like wired for you to, do what this little parasite needs, right? Right.
Yes,
You
yes.
have, whether you like it or not, some baby starts screaming in, Target and your breast milk lets down. You're like, well, okay. Um, you can't sleep probably because your body is readying you to be up, but
Mhm.
it is an extra beautiful thing when someone has chosen to love in this way. And
Yeah.
I mean, and there are people that do it every day, and I just think that's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that point too, and as a certified childless cat lady myself, I think there
Hey,
is
this is a non-political
right.
podcast.
Sorry, that was completely nonpartisan. Um,
Ah,
but I do think that for me, it does represent all the different ways in which legacy can look.
hmm.
And I also deeply appreciate having proximity to children, even if I don't necessarily feel strongly about birthing any of my own.
Mhm.
I love being able to be close to my nieces and nephews and being a presence in their lives and pouring into them in my own special way.
Mhm.
Um, and I also love, the ways in which proximity to children like just helps reorient you to a pure perspective on the world. And I count all my friends' children as well. I love trying to see the world through their eyes,
Yeah.
um, even if just briefly, and then I go back home and then I do my adult things.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny too. My kids are older now, and I'm experiencing them from like the emerging adult perspective. And it is in itself its own like beautiful, special adventure where I'm still learning a whole lot. This generation was equipped with things that my generation just was not equipped with.
Mm,
Um, ways to think about what's cool and what's not cool, access to, people's feelings and what people think in real time.
mm,
Um, and it's kind of fun to listen to my kids, render their opinions on things in ways that our culture was that like kids didn't, you didn't go saying to somebody grown
yeah,
that
right,
you're wrong for that. Like, I
right.
wish I would have told my auntie or my uncle or my mother or my father, you're wrong for that. That's a rude thing to say. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I'm learning a lot about being a better person too from my kids.
Yeah.
I was thinking about some of the things that my son has just like called me out on, and I'm like, One day I said that somebody who played a position which will remain unnamed on my son's team, I said he was trash. Which is, I mean, but I was in the thick of being
Yes,
emotional after a game was over.
understandable.
My son looked at me and he said, Mom, what good could come from you saying that about somebody that's on my team? He's like, that's just like not something you should say. Even even if what you are saying is like, even if you feel critical, like I just don't know that my mom should say about one of my teammates that they're trash. It's like, well, when you put it that way,
No, dang. You didn't have to say it like that.
woo, Lord, I was like, well, the growth mindset does not just limit itself to children. It goes to 54-year-old mamas too. So
Absolutely.
if you're out there listening, don't say your kids' teammates are trash because
Hey, but you're still a W mom. So
I'm still a W mom. Thank you very much. And you're a W auntie for
oh,
like
see,
being all
yes.
in the mix. At first, I was scared that you were going to be like, and then I got in trouble for leaving the gross anatomy lab.
Please.
Because when you said you just bounced and didn't
I
say
know,
anything.
right? If anybody noticed, I mean, but
Yeah,
again, what matter? What were they going to tell me? I can't go? Like I was going. So
that's right. It was a non-repeatable life event.
exactly.
And at this podcast, baby, we are present for non-repeatable life events, at least now that we know better and that we should be.
Exactly. Preach. Although, I'm not telling y'all to just up and, dip from your job or your school obligations, but
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
plan maybe.
Make a plan. And speaking of making a plan,
Yes.
that's a pretty good segue, wasn't it?
That was perfect, actually.
Speaking of making a plan, you by now should have a very solid plan for how you intend to vote in this next election. What is your plan?
It was literally in my mind. I was like, oh God, don't ask me what my plan is.
I'm sorry.
So
I'll tell you
tired.
what my plan is. I am team day of. I know a lot of
Mhm.
people like to vote early, but I'm just one of these weirdos who just wants my sticker on November 5th. And, unless I can figure out a way for them to give me two stickers. And for whatever reason, they be policing them stickers. What is that about?
That's
But no, I
yeah.
usually vote on election day, and I'm actually finding, especially if you live in a battleground state,
Yep.
everybody votes early. And if you go vote on election day, you in and out. And everybody's too scared to try to vote on day of. So yeah.
Yeah. I recall that I usually do a mail-in ballot, although I get the ballot in the mail and then I just walk it over to there's like a mailbox in front of our courthouse, which is down the street from me. So that is my plan. I should probably be checking my mail on a regular basis to see when it arrives.
Yeah, well, in some states, including the one I live in, they are going to be manually counting votes. So hopefully by Christmas,
Yeah,
we will know who's what.
right.
But hey,
It is what it is. At least we'll know
hey,
that your vote is there ready to be hand counted.
because you had a plan.
Yes. And I also have to point out that Dr. Manning is also wearing a vote necklace right now, which I have been, admiring through the screen this whole time. So,
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm trying to be fresh, trying to have my little subtle ways to for the
promote
people that have it.
democracy.
That's right. Promote democracy. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Me asking you to vote is not partisan. Do what you do. Just go vote.
Yeah. I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
there you go. And if you have a loved one who about to have a baby, go see the baby.
Yes. Go see the baby.
Go see the baby.
They might
Go,
change your life.
go see the baby. They just might change your life. Well, on that note, I am sitting in my baby's bedroom that
Mhm.
um, is going to eventually become my office now that he's at college. And I have two more letters of recommendation to upload into Eris, and I need to get them done before I get a text message from a frantic medical student.
Yes. It is that time.
It is that time of year. Mhm.
Mm.
Well, sis, you and Braided Mahalia, you have a wonderful day. And I will check you on a flip flop.
All right, sis. Good luck with those letters. Hope you get your workout in, or just rock your workout clothes regardless.
No, I'm about to work out because
Yeah.
54, honey. You don't 54 is the new 54. No, you gotta work out.
Well, you wear it well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, sis. Love you.
All right, love you too. That wraps up this week's episode of the Human Doctor Podcast.
Special thanks to our favorite brother gastroenterologist, Dr. Chuma Obiname, for the beats. Shout out to the Dr. Ashley McMullen for editing and production.
Mad love to our podcast family at The Nocturnist and the Clinical Problem Solvers, our Med Twitter fam.
And especially shout out to all of you, our listeners.
Until next week, remember,
we see you and you are enough. Holla!